Now, Assassin's Creed Shadows is here, bringing back stealth alongside RPG elements with a unique way to switch between them. But despite this, the game is facing a huge backlash. So,
Take it
what's the
really.
problem? Let's break it all down.
Timo.
One of the biggest controversies around Assassin's Creed Shadows is its portrayal of feudal Japan. Ubisoft has always taken creative liberties with the history, but this time many feel they have gone too far. The inclusion of Yasuke, a real historical figure, has been a major talking point. While Yasuke was a real person, his exact role in the history is still unclear. Some believe he was a samurai, while others think his influence was exaggerated. In Japan, many players feel this is Western media rewriting their history to fit a modern narrative. On top of that, some architectural designs in the game book look more Chinese than Japanese, and certain cultural aspects have been accurately represented. Ubisoft even had to change parts of the game before release because of the backlash, but for many, the damage was already done. Ubisoft has been known to push modern ideologies into their games, and Shadows is no exception. Some players feel that instead of focusing on authentic historical storytelling, Ubisoft is trying too hard to fit a certain agenda. While diversity in gaming is important, many fans argue that Assassin's Creed should prioritize historical accuracy first. The way Ubisoft handled Yasuke's role has led to the accusation that they are prioritizing modern political messages over the culture and setting of feudal Japan. This debate has split the community, with some supporting Ubisoft's choices and others feeling like the game is rewriting history for the sake of inclusivity. Now, on paper, Assassin's Creed Shadows has a solid mix of stealth and RPG mechanics. Players can switch between two protagonists, one focused on stealth and the other on combat. But now that the game is out, does it actually deliver? Now, the reactions have been mixed. Some players love the gameplay, but others feel the gameplay is sluggish and not as fluid as it should be. The stealth mechanics, while improved from past RPG based Assassin's Creed game, still don't
Take it
feel as refined as the older titles.
Timo.
Another major issue is microtransactions. Ubisoft has loaded the game with in game purchases, including cosmetics and possibly gameplay advantages. While it's not a full pay to win, it's frustrating to see so much content locked behind extra payments in a single player game. One of the biggest concerns is that Assassin's Creed Shadows requires an internet connections, even for a single player. This means that even if you're playing alone, you still need Ubisoft servers to be online. This has caused issues with players facing disconnects and being locked out of content due to server problems. But the biggest issue, Ubisoft has the power to shut down the game whenever they want. If they decide to take the servers offline in a few years, you could lose access to the entire game. It's like you never really owned it in the first place. For a single player game, this decision is frustrating. Many players are demanding an offline mode, but so far Ubisoft hasn't responded. Ubisoft has acknowledged the backlash but hasn't addressed the biggest concerns. They made minor changes to the cultural aspects before launch, but they haven't responded to the criticisms about the microtransactions, always online requirements, or gameplay issues. They have released patches to fix performance problems and more updates are expected. But will they actually fix the core issues or are they just trying to quiet down the controversy? So, after all this, how do I feel about Assassin's Creed Shadows? Honestly, I'm torn. I love that stealth is back. The ability to switch between RPG style warrior and a true assassin is something I have wanted for a long time. In that sense, Ubisoft is heading in the right direction. But the controversies, the always online issues, the monetization, it's hard to ignore these problems. But Ubisoft has a history of making questionable decisions, and Shadows feel like another example of that. At this point, if you love Assassin's Creed Shadows, it might be worth playing, but with caution. If you are worried about the online requirements and microtransactions, you might want to wait and see how Ubisoft handles the game in the upcoming months. Now, what do you think? Is the backlash justified or is it overblown? Let me know in the comments.